Hi, students. Mr. Murphy here. We're talking all about one of my favorite things today, energy. It's hard to write with a mouse. Okay, we're talking about energy. All right, here's the deal. So you have split notes to fill out. You can do them digitally, right? We talked about how we could split our page. You could have printed them out and filled them out. Here's the deal, okay? It is not about the work. It is about the learning process. Meaning, guys, it's not a race to how fast you can fill your notes out. All right, please watch this video. I'm going through it. It's not going to take you very long. I'm going to talk semi-quickly. I'm just talking about how energy flows. All of this is kind of preloading your brain for what we're doing in class this week. You're watching this video on either Monday or Tuesday. Please just watch the whole video. Please. All right, cool. But yeah, we're talking to guys about how energy pyramids and food webs, or how energy flows through an ecosystem. You guys learned about food chains and food webs when you were like in elementary school. But we're going to kind of go a level deeper and talk about what that means for energy flow and how organisms receive or gain or receive or lose their energy throughout an ecosystem. So by definition, and just so you guys know, I've highlighted all the words that you need to fill in on your split notes. By definition, what is an energy pyramid? Well, it starts from the ground up, and we know that there is, so I'm going to introduce a word here. So the transfer and flow of energy through the ecosystem by organizing the ecosystem into trophic levels. So I'm going to kind of highlight that word, trophic levels. And these are the trophic levels. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trophic levels. And those are organized by the amount of energy available and the different types of organisms that exist within that energy pyramid. Notice at the bottom we have green stuff, and we'll get more into this later. And as we rise up the energy pyramid, we are going to get different types of carnivores and omnivores. So what is it? It's a model that shows the amount of energy transfer. When what you need to know, it's built like a pyramid because there is more energy available at the bottom of the pyramid, right? It's bigger at the bottom. And as we go up, there's going to be less energy available, okay? So by definition, what do we need energy for? Well, we need energy for digestion processes, for daily function. It's why we started with photosynthesis and respiration. It's how we actually process our energy. Well, now it's time to get our energy. We know that animal cells need glucose. They need to consume. So as we go up in our pyramid, okay, there's less objects for animals to consume. And we can display that in our energy pyramid. So we're talking about difference between food chains and food webs. Food chains, those are boring. Okay, those are really easy. This is what you did in like elementary school. We were like, what eats the grass? The caterpillar eats the grass. What eats the caterpillar? The bird eats the caterpillar. Food webs are a lot more realistic, okay, and they're a lot more complicated. So just comparing the two. So a food chain is just kind of one level, and a food web is where we have many overlapping food chains. It's a more complete picture of how energy flows. So we're going to kind of do less food chains in 7th grade and more food webs, talking about how a whole ecosystem fits together and how the different trophic levels, which we'll get into more, how those different trophic levels interact. So we got to start with the sun, right? It all starts with the sun. Main energy source, okay? It starts with the sun. If we're going to build our pyramid, okay, here's our pyramid. It starts here. Well, it all starts with the sun because we cannot build the pyramid unless we have our producers. Let's change the color. Unless we have the producers chilling on the bottom, starting with the sun. So let's talk about the first trophic level. And remember, going back to what a trophic level is, it's how we organize our pyramid and the amount of energy available. There's a lot more energy on the bottom, or 100% of the energy on the bottom. We'll get to the 10% rule here shortly, compared to the top. So first trophic level, these are our producers. Okay, they use photosynthesis. We've talked about that. And they're our green stuff. So if we're going to talk about trophic level 1, they are the producers. So we're moving up the trophic level, or energy pyramid. We're moving up a trophic level. This is my pyramid. Look at that. So the producers are chilling on the bottom. The second trophic level, or level of organization in an energy pyramid, are going to be the primary consumers. We could also say this is the first consumer. Primary meaning one. First consumer. These things eat producers. Just that simple. They're usually an herbivore, sometimes can be an omnivore, but the point is that they are mostly feed on the lowest level or plants. Now notice they can be really small. They can be a grasshopper, they can be a frog, they can be a cricket, they can be a caterpillar, but they can be larger. Like a deer, for example, is just going to feed on plants. Climbing even higher. Now our carnivore friends come in. A lot of vocab in this unit. So if you notice in the back of my classroom right now, I have vocabulary. I'm going to send you the vocab list as well for this week, or for this kind of mini unit, energy, flow, and ecology. But the second level, or the third level, trophic level, would be our secondary consumer. These are the things, and again, I'm keeping building this pyramid. We have the producers down here. That's a bad pyramid. Now we have primary, and now we have secondary. And notice that these things, the organisms are getting more complex. They're carnivorous. What a fun word to say. And they are going to feed on either producers or primary consumers. Getting towards the top. What a great word. Tertiary consumers. This is the fourth trophic level. So you'll notice the pyramid. Okay, we have green stuff. Cool. We have omnivores. These would be primary. We have secondary, and then at the top would be tertiary consumers. Say it with me. Tertiary. These things are the predators of the food chain. Okay, these are going to eat primary, secondary consumers. They are mostly meat eaters. Like pretty predominantly strictly carnivores. Think large animals, and connected with tertiary consumers are the following term: apex predators. Apex predators are at the top of the food chain. These are the these are the organisms that are going to have no natural predators. I repeat, no natural predators. The only thing that is going to be a threat to them would be habitat destruction and humans. And mostly habitat destruction would be caused by humans. So humans are really the only predator. So like great white shark, grizzly bear, lions. These things would also be known as tertiary consumers. So apex predators are kind of what we call the top of the food chain. All right, so these things are outside our energy pyramid. So again, I got the energy pyramid chilling. Energy pyramid in quick definition: how energy flows up and through an ecosystem. Decomposers and scavengers on the outside, because they are technically, they're kind of like that annoying little brother that sort of picks on you, that, kind of, I don't know, bad example. But decomposers, you guys learned about this in like kindergarten, and you're always like, what's a decomposer? And you go, worms and mushrooms and bacteria. These things break down waste and nutrients. And then scavengers are going to feed on dead organisms. And there's a couple examples: hyenas, like Ed from the Lion King. Okay, cool. But yeah, these are not within the energy pyramid, but important terms nonetheless. Okay, and this is the complicated, I'm going to say more complicated version, or more complicated topic within energy flow. And here I'm taking some time drawing my energy pyramid. Is at the top of the food pyramid, there is less energy available. Meaning, down at the bottom, the green stuff, okay, starts with the sun. Look at this wonderful picture, okay? Producers are going to be able to produce their own food. They're going to be able to make as much as possible. There is 100% of energy available. As we go up in the food chain, animals need to hunt, and it becomes harder to find food. So what that means is there's less energy available. As we go up, we call it the rule of 10%. There's 100% of energy at the bottom. And we go up even further, there's only going to be 1% of energy available at the top. And at the tippy top, there's going to be like 0.1%. And we talk about like this, and I was talking with one of my courses the other day, is animals are not always successful when they hunt. Think of a cheetah. Cheetah's the fastest land animal. It's not like guaranteed every single time a cheetah hunts, it's going to come home with a meal. Plants, they don't have to work that hard to produce their food. They're going to stand there and they're going to soak up sun rays. They're going to photosynthesize, create their glucose. Other organisms that need to consume their glucose, they got to work for it. So what that means is there's going to be less energy available. And I always use this kind of example: is why aren't there 100,000 eagles flying around Berkshire Middle School right now? Well, it's simple. There's just not as much energy, or there's not enough energy to feed all those eagles. There's way more green stuff than there is deer, because deer need to work to get food. Well, what eats the deer? we wouldn't be in North America, but things that eat the deer, they need to hunt those deer, so there's less energy available. So we call it the rule of 10%. That at the bottom of the pyramid, there's more energy than towards the tippy top. And a good little example here, talking about energy loss. And we're going to talk extensively about the energy pyramid and the rule of 10%. So I don't expect you to become like a master of this just based on watching this note. And I know that you've been watching the whole video, not just skipping forward, right? Thumbs up to you. Anyway, showing that we start with 100% and we are going to slowly lose energy as we go up. Another vocabulary word that we're going to use is biomass, and this is just a fancy way of saying the energy available in living organisms. So grass can be biomass, a deer can be biomass, a hawk can be biomass, a snake can be biomass. It's just simply another way of saying energy. So we would say at the top of the pyramid, there is less biomass available than there is at the bottom of the pyramid. Another word here, autotrophs. These are just words. This is another term for producers. But biomass, or total amount of energy available, decreases with each trophic level increase. There's going to always be more biomass towards the bottom. We discussed that on a previous slide. Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about energy flow, and here's kind of the big takeaways. Understanding that energy flow in an ecosystem is extremely complex. We like food webs as opposed to food chains. We know that it's not like deer only eat one thing. Okay, it's not like hawks only eat one thing. In an ecosystem, we know that the higher we get up, the top predators, it is harder for them to find food. That is why, and we're going to work on an activity in class Monday and Tuesday, there's not going to be 10,000 hawks and only 3,000 mice. Okay, if a hawk eats a mouse, well, if there's only 3,000 mice, how could there be 10,000 hawks to sustain the energy available? So it's a kind of consequences, actions, consequences type deal, and we'll talk extensively about how energy flows throughout an ecosystem. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I'm at 12 minutes. I hope this was the most engaging 12 minutes of your life. Schoology, message me if you have any questions. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Goodbye.